Hi, it's Lou from Christian Faith and Fiction. A while back someone commented in one of my videos and asked for some recommendations for Christian fiction series. I thought it might be fun to toss this out as a community engagement video, and so I'm going to give some book recommendations, books that I've enjoyed, series that I've enjoyed in the Christian fiction genre, but I would love to see what you think down in the comments. So make sure you check through the comments as well, because other people will be putting out different suggestions and other people read different genres to the ones that I do. So I'm just going to throw out some suggestions, not go into great detail about what the books are, but you can see the list of them down below, and on the blog post will be links to the Goodreads pages. So starting off with some historical fiction, and these are all in the Christian fiction category, but the genres are historical to start with. On Devonshire Shores by Julie Klassen was one I really enjoyed. It hasn't quite finished yet, there's one more book to come, but this is Christian Regency romance, family drama kind of series. It is set in Sidmouth, which is quite close to me. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed the setting, have enjoyed all the characters together and following this family drama as it's going through all of the different sisters that are involved. The Imposters series by Roseanna M. White, that is a historical romance and mystery series. It's following a brother and sister to start with who have set up this spy kind of private detective type service where they keep their identity secret. They're really in the aristocracy, but they need to make money, and so they're making money on the side by doing this carrying out detective work, spy work as it were, for people to get information, find missing people, that kind of thing. And each book has its own mystery, but they're following through the series with the characters, and there are different romances in each book as well, so I've enjoyed that one. And also by Roseanna M. White was the Codebreakers series, which was set I think during World War I, and that has similar sort of themes of romance and mystery, but with the war element in there as well. Then there's a Christmas series called Once Upon a Dickens Christmas by Michelle Griep, which is historical romance. There is some mystery elements in some of them, I think, as well. It's sort of the Victorian period, and it is Dickens themed type of books, although some of them are pretty loose connections to the Dickens. The first one was really strong, and that's probably my favourite one of the three. 12 Days at Bleakley Manor, I think that one was called. The Matchmakers series by Jen Turano. This is the only series I've read by her so far and really enjoyed it. It's fun, upbeat, again historical romance, a little bit of action, suspense in the background as well, but mostly it's the romance and the enjoyable characters and the fun elements, a little bit of Christian content in there as well. And that one is set in America, so American high society mostly, mixed with other classes. The Freddie and Grace Mysteries by Pepper Basham is another one I've enjoyed. This one is following Freddie and Grace. In the first book has their romance, but after that they are sort of a couple, and so it's stronger storyline with the mystery in those books. And there is always a bit of elements of romance in there as well, but the mystery is probably the strongest of the stories, and I've enjoyed all of those so far. There's the Highland Heist is coming out very shortly, might be out by the time this video is up, so I will be definitely looking forward to reading that one as well. And yeah, enjoyed all of those ones. The romance does get a little bit steamy occasionally because it involves married couples, a married couple, so yeah, that was a bit too much for me, but it's not there very often. Melanie Dickinson's The Hagenheim series, that was my favourite of her series. It's quite long, I think it was 11 books. It is a medieval romance adventure kind of stories. They are all retellings of fairy tales, and those were that was probably my favourite series. Yeah, some of those books stood out more to me than others, but I did enjoy that time period a lot, and I love fairy tale retellings. The Lost Castle series by Kristy Cambron. This one is like 3 time periods in one novel. Each novel, the contemporary time period, the story sort of follows through from book to book, but the historical ones are totally different in each book. So often there's like one from quite a long way away, one from maybe the wartime, and one contemporary story, and those I enjoyed. She has written some more standalones since then, which are even more complicated and more sort of masterful with those multi-time periods, but I still enjoyed the Lost Castle ones too. And another historical fiction would be Elizabeth Camden's Hope and Glory series. That's the only one I've completed. I did enjoy all of those. The first one and the last one, probably my favourites of those two. They are in America. They're fiction that has political connotations to it, so some of it's in like Washington, and there's romance and mystery as well in the background. So as you can tell, I really like combinations of historical mystery and romance together, or mystery and suspense with romance. Those kind of combinations really are my taste in fiction. In sort of fantasy books, The Lightraider Academy by James R. Hannibal. This one I picked out because it has really good faith sort of content through it. They quote from the Bible, although it doesn't specifically say that because it's in a fantasy genre, so it doesn't list it as being the Bible, but it's including scripture references into there. It's quite a complex fantasy. It's definitely a fantasy, epic in scope, sort of taken in different characters and different places, and a lot of different monsters and things that they're fighting. It is following a guy who goes into an academy to become a Lightraider. That's basics of it. Yeah, I'm not going to go into details in all of these books, but these are the ones that stand out. The Ravenwood Saga by Morgan L. Busse is also one of my classic favourites in Christian fantasy. This is a 3-book series. They're all sequential, so definitely read them in order, and the same with the previous one as well. And this is following a lady who has the power to go into people's dreams and influence them, and she finds out that her family uses that to kill people, I think, and so she is in a quandary over whether she wants to follow the dark or the light side. And we find further gifts as we go through, and more of the world and the story and the adventure and romance as we go through the whole of that series. That was a really good one. In contemporary romance, the Skymar series by Pepper Basham, kind of light on Christian side, but it was a romance, and it's written in a series of emails and messages, and it was fun. It was light-hearted. I enjoyed the style of it and the characters within that one. In Search for Prince by Toni Shiloh, that duology is set on a fictional African kingdom, and it's following an American who finds out she's the heir to that. She's actually a princess, I guess, and it's following her, whether she wants to take up her role, whether she can marry in time to take up her role, that kind of thing. So there's romance as well as other things going on in the background, and it was really interesting setting for me. I liked the characters, and there was good faith in there as well. The Port Willis romance series by Lindsay Harrel is my favourite series by her. This started off with The Secrets of Paper and Ink, which is a dual-time book, but then went on to have 4, I think, other novellas that were Christmas themed, that were set in the same place, following side characters that led on from those books. And some of them were like clean fiction, and some of them were Christian fiction. But I enjoyed all of those, so that one is my favourite of her writings. And they're all set in Cornwall, and they're set with quite often women who've come over from America to be in Cornwall, and that kind of change of culture and meeting other people in romance and that kind of thing. Rachel Hauck's True Blue Royal duology, which I wanted to be a trilogy, but so far it's only a duology as far as I'm aware. And those were another one set in a fictional royal kingdom. I haven't read her other royal ones yet, but I really enjoyed those ones. It's a bit sort of escapist, unrealistic, but it was a lot of fun and nice, sweet romance from what I remember. In a mystery series, I haven't read a whole lot of mystery and suspense, so the ones I really enjoyed were If I Run by Terri Blackstock, this trilogy of Christian romantic suspense. It's quite... I think there was some goriness in it, so it's a bit edgy, and the main character is sort of framed for something, or she believes she's been framed for the murder of something, and she goes on the run. So she's on the run throughout this book, and then you're following her, and then you're following the person who's hired to track her down as he's trying to work out what the truth really is. And finally, some Colleen Coble books. The Pelican Harbour series I've read by her and enjoyed those ones, Christian romantic suspense. And then older ones that I've read a while back would be the Hope Beach series, which I can't remember what happened in them, but I gave them quite good reviews. I think these ones are a little more sedate than the Pelican Harbour ones, but again, it's romantic suspense. But I would love to hear some of your suggestions for good Christian fiction series, ones that you have enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments, and we can maybe compile together some recommendations for other people who are looking through. Don't forget to look down through the comments, especially if you're tuning in a little bit later on, because you will be able to see other people's suggestions, which will add to the ones that I've given. As always, I don't recommend books to other people because I have no idea what your taste is, but these are books that I personally have enjoyed and gave good ratings to. If you would like to see any more videos about Christian fiction, you can watch these videos over here. Okay, I hope you're having a fantastic reading week and you're all well. I pray God bless you and your families, and until next time.